So the topic today is keeping safe on the internet. What I'm presenting is actually a chapter, one of the courses I teach at Marist. The course is Management Information Systems. It's a junior year course that people in Marist School of Business Administration, Finance, Accounting, and Management typically take. Ironically, it's a totally IT comprised class, but no IT people take it. But we're bringing this up today because within the last few weeks, there's been a lot of talk on the internet about different viruses and things called ransomware. We want to make sure you're being safe at home as well as knowing you're protected here at work. So with that, we're going to see why information systems are open for vulnerabilities. We're going to discuss the value in protecting our systems, both here at Greystone. I'm going to show you what we do here at Greystone to protect you, and we're going to give you some tips and tricks on how to protect yourselves and your families at home. We're going to discuss the framework, the actual pieces that we put into place from IT to keep us safe at Greystone. And looking at some tools and technologies that even you can use at home. So security at Greystone. We have what's called firewalls in place at all of our locations. And I'm going to this is what our network looks like here at Greystone. So if you thought from IT all we did was give you computers and fix your computers, we do a bit more than that. So next to each house there's a thing that looks like a wall, a brick wall. That's what's called a firewall. And you can look at what a firewall is really by examining what you may have in your houses. If you have a boiler room in your house, or if you have a garage and has access to your house, you have some type of firewall in your home. It's either a metal door or fire-rated sheetrock that keeps fire from the living spaces in your home. Well, an IT firewall does the same thing. It sits on our network and takes in connections. The lines coming from the cloud in the middle are our connections to the internet. And so let's say we're at the admin building here. We have a firewall. So our connection goes to the internet, and it goes to where our servers are in Chicago, Illinois. So the firewalls, they allow certain bits of information into our network and allow certain bits of information out. We have a vendor who manages our firewall network called BioWest through a company they acquired called Applied Trust. So they check to make sure these firewalls are working all the time. These firewalls allow each of our houses in our admin building to connect to our servers, connect to our print network, connect to our IT portal securely. So we have a tunnel like the Holland Tunnel where you go from New York to New Jersey, one shot. We have a tunnel from Fallkill into the server farm in Chicago, which only allows traffic on that tunnel. So all of our data and stuff is protected within that tunnel. Okay. And we'll look at more about firewalls and more what they do in a little bit. Go back to our slides. The right link. AVG Cloud Care install. That's what we use for antivirus. Up until 3 weeks ago, we had AVG for workstation install. Our Cloud Care, what it allows us to do is remotely deploy it to everyone. We can remotely manage when we update things called definitions. Within any antivirus platform, definitions, which we get from the vendor, in our case AVG, allows us to protect us against viruses coming into our computers. So hopefully all of you at home have antivirus installed on your home computers. We also have antivirus installed on our email system. So our Microsoft Exchange server, which feeds Outlook on Office 365, has antivirus built into it. So every email you send or receive gets checked for viruses. Even more pertinent, anytime you send an attachment, that attachment is, again, checked for viruses. Anytime you receive an attachment, we check it for viruses. So we're protected on the mail level, on the workstation level, and at the firewall level, because all of our firewalls, they have antivirus built in them too. So we check viruses coming in and out of our network, in and out of our workstations, and in and out of our email. We're a pretty safe place here at Greystone. At home, we make sure any of your free email vendors have antivirus put into their platforms. Yahoo, Gmail, Microsoft Outlook, which used to be Hotmail, they all provide antivirus services. At home, you all should have turned on your Windows firewall. It just is another level of protection that you have for people looking to take over your computer for their profit. And lastly, we make sure our antivirus is update and installed. I recommend not using free versions of antivirus, though they'll work well enough. People like Symantec offer a low-cost version on a yearly subscription that provides much better service. So going from an IT perspective, a scholarly perspective, we look at security. We have policies, procedures, and things we can do technically to prevent unauthorized access. And we do this by documenting what we're going to provide. Controls, methods, policies, and procedures to ensure the safety of our assets. I hope you've all read your acceptable use policy. That was put into place to protect not only you, not only the computer asset that you're using, but our PMI. So if you haven't gone through the acceptable use policy, please do so and report back to your managers accordingly. So from Connie and our folks in the room, why do you think we're susceptible to problems with our computer? Whether it be viruses, malware, spyware, working slowly. Why do you guys think? There's some things on the screen here, but you're at home and something happens. Why do you think it happens?
Or you have a lot more users, so it can make you more vulnerable. If you're exploring other sites and doing other things that are not work related, that can potentially increase your risk.
And we're going to see that in an organization, threat to our systems comes internally. It's our biggest threat. And the biggest department for that computer crime, I'm going to say, is from IT people. Because we have intimate knowledge of the systems. But why we're susceptible to bad things happening on the internet, and the internet's the world's biggest network, and it's the meanest place you're ever going to want to visit. It's because we as humans are trusting. We as humans want to think the best of people. And that flaw, and I'm going to say flaw with quotations, is the primary reason why virus attacks hit, why ransomware attacks hit, because we think everything we see is true. So, did you guys know, anyone use Wikipedia? You know Wikipedia is updated by regular people that want to update to whatever they want to update. It's not essentially true information. It can be, but it's not a sound place to get information. And I'm going to go even further. Have any of you gotten an email saying your long-lost cousin in Nigeria is a king and they have $1 million for you? Yeah. So if you don't know someone in Nigeria, don't open the email. This is just a more common practice to manage yourselves at home and here at work. And even using the phone, because the phone has become a crummy place lately. If you don't know the phone number of someone calling you, don't answer it. There's been a lot of phone attacks lately with people saying, I'm blah, blah, blah from the IRS. We're coming to get the IRS will not ever call you. Okay? They'll send you a letter with the 50 a white envelope with their IRS right there. They're never going to call you. So if you don't know the phone number that's calling you, don't answer it. If you don't know the person that's emailing you, delete it. Especially if someone has sent an attachment. If you've gotten an attachment from someone you don't know, don't open it. Attachments in emails are one of the primary ways that computer criminals deliver malware. We're going to see what malware is all about shortly. There are other reasons why systems are vulnerable. Everything breaks, right? We all have car problems. Chris is getting tires put on his car today. Something always happens. And frankly, that's the primary reason why Greystone has an IT department, to give new computers and fix computer problems. But I call a vulnerability anything that stops you from doing your day-to-day job. So it could be a virus, it could be malware, it could be your mouse is broken. We did order some of my software to come in today. Hopefully. Software problems. Do you know we update your Microsoft Windows through Windows Update probably almost every week? It's all set to automatically update on your computers. And the reason that is, and it's a shame to say because most of the business ones uses Windows computers, Microsoft can't possibly be profitable if they release software that's 100% perfect. So they know they're going to release software, so they released Windows 10 last year. They knew it would have issues, so they continually have to upgrade their software. While as the Mac OS on Macintosh, the MacBook, MacBook Pro, stuff like that, they don't typically put out an operating system that isn't 99% flaw-free. In turn, their computers cost a lot more money than, say, a computer using Microsoft Windows does. But they don't update their operating systems. They don't patch their operating systems. Their systems are relatively secure, whereas Windows we're updating all the time. At home, it's even more important to do those Windows updates because hackers prey on those vulnerabilities, and you can actually see inside your network and say, we have a vulnerability that shares desktop at home. Let's prey on that. Let's attack her computer. And then let's use her computer to distribute porn. Because that's what hackers do. They'll use your computer to generate some kind of revenue. They'll use it as a server farm for things like pornography or illegal downloading of new movies. So Spider-Man came out last night. There's already versions of it on the internet in the thing called a BitTorrent. Another place you never want to go to on the internet. If it's free, probably not a good thing. So if you see the latest movie and you do a search on Google, Spider-Man, and it comes up with a link for the full movie, it's more than likely coming from a bad place, a place we call the dark web. Other places on the internet we don't want to travel to while we're at work and at home. What do you think are some places we don't want to go to? There's some places in this building I don't allow you to, but there's other places at home you can go to, but we probably shouldn't be going. Social media is actually pretty safe.
Okay.
But when social media, like if you use Pinterest or Spotify, and it takes you to a link somewhere else, that link could be vulnerable. But if you're within Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, this or that. If you're within their application, you're pretty safe. Once you click the link to go somewhere else, you may have a problem. There are also places we may not want to go. We don't typically want to go to porn sites. And I can throw it out there with whether it's in this room or when I have 30 undergrad students. Viruses are especially on the free sites. Paid pornography, if that's something you want to do, is better than free. Other places we don't want to go to are gambling sites. With lucky in New York, we can't gamble on the internet. If you go to New Jersey, stay in a hotel, you can gamble. They're not safe places to be. Now, ironically, and then you're going to get a chuckle out of this, maybe, the least safe type of website to go to on the internet is for pro wrestling. Pro wrestling demographic is men between the ages of 14 and 25. And that demographic typically pays less attention to things like security and what they're doing. Will randomly click on things to find information. And once you go to pop on the site, you could be wrong. Let me ask you this, and this is all getting into other terms we're going to talk about. Have you ever been to a website and you've gotten a pop-up that says your Windows computer is vulnerable? Download this application, scan it. Okay. That's an attempt to take over your computer. So if that ever comes up, put your browser right away, restart your computer. Because once you install that application, that's what's called ransomware. That person has now has access to the data that's stored on your computer, and they're going to want money to let you get it back. We're going to see a video about a ransomware attack that happened in Ukraine last week that permeated the not-for-profit. It hit us or anyone in the U.S., but it hit because of a flaw in non-for-profit accounting system in Eastern Europe. So if we look some more here, disasters. Did you know before, has anyone heard of the term disaster recovery? So before 9/11, 2001, in IT there was really no such thing as disaster recovery. Our systems were always vulnerable. We had servers and a server is just a type of computer that delivers information to us. We didn't have backups of those. If we did back those up, we stored the file in our workstation. Before half of New York City blew up, no one ever thought of how to protect information systems. Now we do. Use of network computers outside the firm's control. You'll see in our acceptable use policy there's a section there that doesn't allow you to bring your own device to it. I have my own device at work. It does a backup to my work device, and it's on the Greystone Gas network. So even my personal device isn't on Greystone network. We have two networks here, wireless networks, one for Greystone, one for Greystone Gas. You can use your personal device on Greystone Gas. However, you can't have corporate email on here. So if you have a work cell phone, you're allowed to have Greystone and Greystone information, not on here. But realize we can't stop you from having things like therapy on here, but we would ask you to only use your Greystone device for access. Lost and theft of portable devices. Not really yet.
Good question. And I would presume that with your personal phone, you would want to charge it with your laptop.
You wouldn't want to charge.
Probably won't allow you to do anything anyway.
No, you wouldn't want to charge your smartphone through your laptop anyway because the power source isn't great enough to charge it. You're better off charging it in mobile. So you can connect your personal phone to your work computer, but it's really against odds. But again, Plug your smartphone into the wall. They'll charge so much faster. Loss and theft of portable devices. Not a big deal for us at Greystone because, Chris, did you know if you lose your cell phone, I can wipe it?
Yeah.
We use a security platform on our work cell phones called MAS 360, MAAS 360. It's an IBM security program that we have a year contract with, where I manage all our cell phones. So I manage the security of our work cell phones, and I can remotely wipe a phone if it's lost. So what happens, I can ping the phone, wipe it, and whoever has the phone will see the erase. If the phone is dead at the time of loss, when someone finds it and plugs it in, as soon as it has power, the phone gets wiped. So we do a pretty good job on protecting our portable devices. This slide, it shows really the progression of what we call a client-server architecture. So this is kind of like how we get email. You know, we really get email through the cloud now. But if we look at it on the left-hand side, it's you guys. It's a user. Communication lines are, say, your wireless network, so our Greystone network. Our corporate servers are in the middle. That's like our file server, our print server. And corporate systems are kind of like Therac or FundDZ. And we have vulnerabilities at each part of those. And our corporate systems have theft of data, copying data, alteration of data. Most crime of loss of data happens when an employee is about to get off. People will take drives to take their data and leave it. Biggest loss of data is through the offboarding process. Hacking, viruses, and worms, all things we're going to talk about today, as well as denial of service. So internet vulnerabilities. As I said, the internet's a dirty, dirty place. Nothing good comes out of the internet, even though the internet has changed the world. Internet is pretty much ended the retail industry. It's changed the way we get information. It's making libraries obsolete, but it does come with issues. So it's open to anyone that can pay for it. So there's really no free internet. So if you have funds to subscribe to internet service, you're open to the internet. It's the world's largest network. The use of fixed internet addresses with cable DSL modems creates fixed targets for hackers. Slides kind of dated, even though it's 2016, and this is what I present in my classes. Now our cable providers charge us extra for a fixed IP address. That's a good thing. So if our IP address, and that's like your home address. So the IP address is how the internet knows you're there. So it's just like my home address, 65 Western Avenue, Marlboro. This computer has an IP address. And it keeps that IP address every 4 days. Then it changes. Now with, especially the way we have it in Greystone, all of our modems, that address changes every day. As here at Greystone with fixed internet addresses are our printers. And our printers have a address, so we can always get, if they were changing all the time, we'd have to go to all your workstations, and every time they change, we have to change them. Our wireless device, our wireless access points all have a fixed IP address. So they know how to connect to the router, with that router change. So we're pretty secure in that method. We're not going to talk about unencrypted VoIP because here we have encrypted VoIP. And we talked about problems with email already. You all have wireless internet at home? We're going to talk about this thing called SSID. That's the name of your Wi-Fi network at home. Do you all have passwords on your Wi-Fi? Good. It used to be as as late as 6 or 7 years ago, people would leave their wireless networks with no password. What do you think that allowed people to do? Yeah, so we could steal your internet, right? So now you're paying for something that your neighbors would use. It could slow down the speeds of the service you subscribe to. But it could make someone that wants to do harm to you or take over your resources to do harm to others more easy access to get in. So we always have nice strong passwords on our Wi-Fi networks. So here's how Wi-Fi really works at home. You're at home here, legitimate user. You send something to your cable modem. Say, I want to go to greystoneprograms.org from home. It checks to make sure you're connected with the right password to your SSID network. If you pass the right password on, you're allowed to go to Greystone Programs. If you're an intruder, you have to do the whole same thing. If you have no password, you're right into the router, right into the internet. So having a strong password with mixed characters, numbers, special characters, makes you safer. Let's see if this video goes to the right place.
Media Manager for Red Information Assurance. And today's screencast is going to be on the difference between malware, spyware, and adware. So with that being said, let's get started. The content today, first is the first bullet, which is malware, second being spyware, third being adware. So you've probably been wondering, or often tend to be confused or not even know at all the meaning and purpose of each one. That this may show up vary, but normally each word is noticed when simply browsing the internet. So what do these words actually mean? Malware is basically any sort of sensitive forms of computer. If or infection, so to speak, it could disrupt your computer's operation or could ultimately shut down everything and crash. Malware essentially is a broad spectrum which houses infections that your computer's antivirus, firewall viruses, worms, Trojan horse, spyware. And what is the difference? Well, spyware, yeah, does just that. Spy program that the user personally puts on their computer. In layman terms, think about downloading some sort of software for free off of the internet. Now imagine yourself being a small component within that program that gains sensitive information from the user, whether that means the web pages that you browse, credit keyboard. Furthermore, programs for free off the internet have more vulnerability in gaining some sort of script codes, active content in the program, or something else of that matter. But typically, what will happen when your computer recognizes a spyware detection is that your computer's firewall or antivirus program, which I will make a different video on later, will quarantine. The majority of users who operate a PC are ones who generally have this program, especially not as computer users who buy their private computers for the first time. These decrease. I see a lot of Dell computer purchases happen. Usually with each purchase of a new computer, Dell gives you some sort of trial, typically lasting for about 90 days or so. Sure, users will take this instant perk, but once the trial runs out, the virus definitions are updated, and sooner than you antivirus program running on. But enough with spyware. For that matter, adware you could categorize pop-up ads somewhere within that invoice code, maybe some sort of spyware. It may not be a harmful form of spyware, but what adware commonly is known for is tracking your browser. Once there's a time that your browser starts going haywire, clicks on other websites to come up because they assume because of the past web pages clicking and clicking and clicking. So with that being said, to wrap up, software. And that's just the general term. Malware is a little bit more specific. It's a type of malware, and it's a software that spies, so to speak, on a certain aspect of your computer, which is potentially harmful. And the last one we covered, which was adware, is acquired through I would say, malware versus others. So that is my little review, just a small, quick review on what malware, spyware, and adware.
So to go a little deeper, a virus is a rogue piece of software that gets installed on your computer. So if you have virus protection, you're vulnerable. A worm is just like a worm you see in the ground. It's something that moves from computer to computer. And we talked about some ways malicious software spread through downloads, through email, not really instant message attachments anymore, and downloads from websites and social media. So if we're smart, we're downloading only from safe sites. They're not really free sites. Anything for free has a trigger saying, I could be bad, and we stay within our social networks. We can pretty much remain safe on the internet. Did you know that your phones can get viruses? Even our iPhones, or our Android phones, are more susceptible to viruses. Any idea what a Trojan horse might be? To those that are not IT in the room, do we remember the Trojan horse from Greek mythology? What was that all about?
They hid inside the horse and woman, so it's disguising itself as something else.
That's all it is here in IT too. Software that appears to be benign, safe, but does something that we don't expect. I.e., your computer is vulnerable, do this scan now. You do the scan, now you have some kind of adware, spyware, malware, virus on your computer. I'm going to show this ransomware attack video because it happened just last week. And I've spent a lot of time in briefings the last week or so on this Petya attack.
Hey guys, I'm Carly Kloss, and I just created my own
.com. Hundreds of templates. Drag and drop any. Change the text to make it yours. And show who you are by
a massive song. Russia's top oil computer systems also were hit off oil production. The virus also took down government agencies, electricity suppliers, and banks. Twitter account seems to be a WannaCry infected old, outdated Windows software that didn't have the latest security patches. So taking advantage of a SIM you install. Report security experts have not hit CNET.com.
So we see from that and servers up to date. We see spyware already. A lot of spyware comes when you notice all these toolbars in your internet, Google, Chrome, or whatever. The toolbar that comes with the internet browser, it's good enough for you. You don't need to install other toolbars. One of the toolbar, most software companies have a toolbar. You don't really need those. They cost things like resetting your home page, changing your search directory from, say, Google to something else. They take up memory on your computer, making your computer slow. So if you notice you're running very slow when it was normally fast, you probably have some kind of spyware installed.
I do have a question
Yes.
about the lag in our systems when we went to the cloud. Is that just because of the server? Like when you're switching and you go to print, there's a lag. It's a lot slower than it used to be.
It's slower right now because we had to make a temporary concession in our network to get to the cloud that night. We have to, again, it's like moving. We have to give this office new IP addresses. And right now we're taking our old IP addresses and changing them into something else. that the other firewalls can read. So within the next week, we're going to be changing